noises. There's a vacuum going in the background, and my 14-year-old son is cleaning the kitchen like I told him to. And he's off to mow the neighbor's lawn so that he can pay me back for this fancy new keyboard that he just bought. Now he's playing drums on the bottom of the pasta pot. But yeah, he talked me into this fancy keyboard. And I told him, I was like, you're going to pay for it yourself though. Like, you better get mowing lawns. So he has to go mow his sister's yard today, and he has to mow the neighbor's yard. Well, hopefully today and tomorrow, so that he can pay for his keyboard and all that good stuff. But as I was sitting, I was running around dealing with a bunch of stuff this morning. But as I was running around and dealing with all this stuff, I was thinking about the topics that have come to me over the last week. And while I was open at Ozarks the other day, I did a live stream talking about sexual guilt, and I was sharing some stories on there and different stuff. And today we're not talking about sexual guilt directly, but here's the thing. This is like a massive topic right now. I have so many women coming to me and so many couples that are going through this that I have to bring it to the light of a live stream. Because if I have like 5 different couples coming to me, then I'm going, obviously this is a topic that needs to be discussed. And so any of you out there that don't have the opportunity to work with me one-on-one, here we go. So yes, bitterness, resentment. What's the number one thing that can cause bitterness and resentment in your relationship? Well, it definitely revolves around sex. And this is the topic that, guys, you better sit down and take a breather, because you're not going to like what I have to say on this. Unfortunately, it is mostly men who push on this topic. There are the few women that push, and guess what? It causes bitterness and resentment on the male side as well. But we are going to keep this more in the alignment that it is, which is probably about 85% of relationships. The men are guilty of doing just these things that we're going to talk about today. Okay. So a lot of the times, guys, you want to be desired. You want your woman to want it, right? You want your woman to be playful. You want your woman to be turned on. You want your woman to be a yes to you. You want her to really, connect with you, and to really want to get in there and have some fun in the bedroom, right? You don't want her to just lay there and be a limp noodle and just take it. But then I have to ask you, is that true? Is that true? So here's where it is. And I've heard so many guys tell me, I want this, I want this, I want this. I love her so much. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want her to ever do anything that she doesn't want to do. She's not my servant. She's not my slave. She's not this. She's not that. And then if you talk to the woman, she's going to tell you, man, he pitches a fit like a 3-year-old when he doesn't get it. And if I say authentically, no, I'm not in the mood, or I don't feel like it, or I'm tired, then he, retracts his love. He doesn't talk to me as much. He won't touch me. He won't snuggle. He, I get treated like a piece of furniture. And that's not cool. So she goes into the mode of, I'm going to just give it to him because it's easier, and it just keeps the peace in the family, so that he's not extra short with the kids. He's not extra short with different things, right? Like, he's not being snotty because he didn't get some. So she gives in. She gives him what he wants. He takes it. And because she gives it, he believes that she wants it. And she's going, didn't you notice that I was a limp noodle? Didn't you notice that I was dry as a bone? Didn't you notice that I didn't even have the energy to fake it for you? Didn't you notice that I was faking it? Because that was like really extreme. What I was doing there, I knew exactly, like every woman knows how to get her guy to just do what, pop, as we could say, very quickly. We know what he's going for, right? And we believe that, here you go, this is what he's here for. He's just here for this quick release. And we don't want to spend a whole lot of energy or time when we're not into it. Okay? Now that might be brutal, that might be harsh, that might be something that no man really ultimately wants to hear, but it's the reality. It is the true reality that when women are not wanting it and men are wanting it, and the man does these different things, what ends up happening is the woman just goes and caves. And she's just like, fine, here it is, here. And what? 85% of the time, you guys, you take it. You take it. You go, well, since she was like, she didn't say fuck no, she didn't push me away, then she must be okay with this. She must be fine with it. And I know that everybody hates that word fine, but if you think that she's fine with it, then she's definitely not a fuck yes to it. If you think that she's okay with it, then she's definitely not a fuck yes to it. If she's not coming on to you, if she's not really engaged in it, if she's doing a limp noodle thing of just like, fine, just get this over with, I guarantee you she's not mentally, emotionally there. She's not in her body. She might change her breathing up for you. She might rotate her hips for you. She might pull you in. She might kiss you a little bit. She might give you a little moan and make some oh face for you. But that doesn't mean shit. And the pussy doesn't lie. So if you're needing to, like, if she's not naturally lubricated, then guess what? If there's not a nice amount of natural lubrication going on, then she's not in her body. She's not emotionally connected, and she's not 100% there. The drier a woman gets, the more out of her body she is. Okay? That means that she is not present. She's not turned on. She's not there. Either the two of you together didn't do the work to get her body there, or she's just really just not into it. She's just not into you in that moment. Okay? So what happens? Where does this bitterness and resentment come from? Bitterness and resentment comes from the fact that I'm fine with it. I'm okay. Let me just take care of you. Let me just get you off. Let me just appease you. And then the man going, oh yeah, I'll just take it because I do need it. I had a bad day. I'm stressed out. I'm tired and I just need to go to sleep. I'm in a grumpy mood. It's been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. It's been whatever, whatever your reason is to want the sex, or just I'm horny. Okay? Which there's absolutely nothing wrong with I'm horny. There's absolutely nothing wrong with I want to have a quickie because, I do want to take the edge off a little bit. But if your partner is not a yes to taking the edge off, an authentic yes to it, then you're doing more damage than good. I ask you, is your edge for your bad day, or if you're needing to go to sleep sooner, if it's been a few days or weeks and you're just really horny, is that what, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes? Is it worth the bitterness and resentment that is going to be built up, the emotional, mental trauma, and the physical damage that is being done to her? Is it worth it? And if you go, how could that be, how's that going to cause bitterness? How's that going to cause resentment? Because she's going to stew on the fact that you used her, that she was nothing more than a piece of meat, that you couldn't read her, that you don't really care, because if you care, you'll listen. If you care and you love somebody, then you're going to notice. You're going to be present enough to notice that that person is not into it. If you're self-centered and you're totally in the I'm too horny, I need the release, I've had a bad day, that is self-centeredness, and that is all about the self and not giving a flying fuck about your partner. That's plain and simple. You're not giving a flying fuck about them in that moment. To that moment, they are nothing more than your masturbation tool. And you're obviously okay with that. You're good with it because you're taking it. And then you'll make the reasoning of, well, she didn't say no. She didn't say no, so it must be good. It must be okay. She must have wanted it. Bitterness, resentment, it builds. And over the course of time, every little, it's kind of like, let me explain it like this. I always use bank accounts on this kind of stuff because it really is like a bank account. We make a lot of, deposits into a bank account when we learn our partner's love languages, when we take time to spend with them, when we pat them on the back, when we move slowly, when we romance, when we just give that smile, when we support in tough times, when we do all this kind of stuff. And then we make withdrawals. Well, in the land of relationship and understanding the feminine, the withdrawal happens, massive withdrawals. Like you can have, let's say that her emotional sexual relationship bank account is sitting at 100,000, okay? And then you come along and you've made all these beautiful deposits, but then you disregard that she's actually not into sex and you're horny, or you've had a tough day, or you think for some reason it's been too long or whatever, and maybe it has been a long time. I get that. Like I could do a whole nother video on women withholding sex, and I could go down that whole path, okay? So there's that topic too. That's a difficult conversation. What I'm talking about is the expectation around your partner giving you sex, whether it is an expectation right in the front of your face or a hidden expectation that comes out in little ways. And all right, so that's what we're looking at, those hidden expectations, or the ones that are right in front of your face where you're like, I deserve this. Like I've had that tough day, and I've heard this one a lot. Well, I had a really tough day at work. There's a lot of stress due to the, COVID stuff, due to this, due to that. That I need sex. I need my partner. This is how she can support me. If she loved me, then she would provide this for me. She's being the self-centered one. She's being the selfish one by not giving me this that I so badly need. She should want to give this to me because she sees that I had a rough day. She sees that I'm exhausted, and she knows how good this is for me. Is your rough day, your rough week, your rough whatever, is it worth the massive withdrawal that you are taking from your relationship and from your partner? That, because what you are doing, that $100,000 bank account that in your relationship that you have worked so hard on creating, right? You've worked hard on that. Then when you come in and you just have this one little moment, and it's like what? 3, 4, 5 minutes? It shouldn't mean that much. It was only 5 minutes. It was only 10 minutes. Well, that's 10 minutes that she lays there and hates your guts. That's 10 minutes that she lays there and feels like sandpaper on the inside of her vaginal canal. And then she spends the next 3 to 7 days with her vagina burning and scratching, and she's in pain, throbbing. That's 10 minutes that creates her to have a complete and total negative hormonal response in her body. So instead of yummy hormones dropping down, oxytocin dropping down, right? No, she actually gets stress hormones dropping down into her body because now she's stressed out. Now she's in anxiety mode. Now she has to completely separate from her body, detach from her body because it hurts too much to go there, because the person that she loves, that she trusts, that tells her that he loves her, that he would all this stuff for her, can't see that she's a no. And if she is a no, ends up copying attitude and retracting love. If you retract your love, FYI, it's not love. Love needs to be unconditional. If you're retracting, that means that your love is based on expectation. Your love is based on needs, not on authentic love. If you can't accept that somebody is a no and really accept it and let them be without retracting love, which means retracting touch, retracting communication, retracting, energy in any fashion, ignoring, giving the silent treatment in some fashion or form. And you might think, oh no, I don't do that. I still talk to her. I still touch her. I still give her a kiss. But if it's really short, if you go from like a kiss to a peck, or you go from I was snuggling with you to, all right, I'm going to just lay a hand on you so that you know that I'm here, but I can't stomach to touch you because I'm so pissed off because you told me no. No, that's not love. You're basing your relationship on expectations, and it's all based around sex, and you thinking that you deserve something or that she should provide this for you, and it's not a big deal, when in truth, what you're doing is you're causing, number one, physical trauma to the body, okay? Because if she's not lubed up, if she's not turned on, then her body is not ready for penetration, and you will, over the course of time, do massive physical damage to her body. This is where women start to have shutdown issues. This is where their pussies literally clamp down on them and they can't even put a finger or a tampon in there anymore. Or they have vaginal prolapse where everything is falling out because they have literally been traumatized physically from their partners repeatedly through the years, and this level of expectation causes not only numbness and different issues in the vagina, but it actually causes different things like that, where like imagine, and I have clients, okay, through the years, I've had these clients where I'm telling you, these women, they allow their partners to create a yes for them when they're a no, because they're scared of the retraction. They're scared of the takeaway. They're scared of the attitude that they're going to get if they say no and they hold to it. So it becomes easier to say, just let it happen, to just let it happen. And they keep their mouth shut, and then you go 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, and she actually physically can't have sex anymore because now her body is falling out of itself. Now her body's falling out of itself, and it just gets really, really bad. On top of it, now that's just the physical. That's just the physical, right? It was only 10 minutes every 3 days. It was only 10 minutes, once a week. It was only 15 minutes here and there. I only asked her it's just sex. It was just this physical act, it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, well, there's the physical. Now the mental aspect. What happens when we are in a traumatizing, shocking event where we no longer have rights? We don't have the right to say yes or to say no in that moment. It's just being taken from us. You know what happens? We depart from our body. We disengage from this physical meat suit. And we are all up here. And depending on where we're at in, back trauma that we have behind us and all this kind of stuff, a lot of the times we end up leaving our bodies completely. It's almost like we're just hanging out in the corner of the room and watching this event take place and praying for it to get over pretty quick. So then we go and we make our grocery lists and we think about bills and we think about the things that we need to do the next day. And this is us just trying to escape the emotional pain that we are going through because the person who loves us, who would do anything for us, doesn't see us, doesn't feel us, and ultimately is proving that they don't care. That their 10 minutes of woo-woo is more important than our emotional state. It's more important than our physical state. And it's obviously more important than a relationship because these two things, when a woman deals with physical pain repeatedly and emotional pain repeatedly, she becomes extremely bitter and resentful to her partner. Extremely bitter and resentful to her partner, and it builds up over time. Every single time she is a no and she allows it to be a yes, or it is just expected and she does it out of guilt, out of shame, there is bitterness and resentment that happens in a relationship, and she starts to hate, not dislike, hate her partner. And then, then she goes to absolutely zero sex. She doesn't want any sex, and her body shuts down. Then her heart closes off because she can't trust him. She can't trust him in one of the most intimate places, right there where they're sleeping together, right? No, if I can't trust you there, then why should I trust you with any other aspect of my life? Because I can't trust you to see me. I can't trust you to feel me here. You're not seeing or feeling me anywhere else. And what we have then is this separation in the relationship. And all of a sudden, you might be living together. You might still be getting sex every now and then when you cop your little attitude and stuff. But you no longer have her heart. You no longer have her mind. You may have her body temporarily until it shuts down or until her mind and heart unite once again and she finds another path. Is your 10 minutes of woo-woo, your need to use her as your Prozac because you had a tough day, because you're not feeling right, is it really truly worth your relationship? Is it really truly worth damaging the person this woman that you say is so beautiful, that you love dearly, that you'd rope the moon for, that you'd do anything for, that you're unconditional about? Is it worth her? Because that's the price. That's the price that you're both going to pay. Now, on the flip side of it, ladies, time to speak up. And this is a really tough subject, and trust me, I know how tough it is. And when we start to open up about it, there's a fire there because we have a lot of anger around this, because it seems to be that men across the board, no matter how awesome they are, no matter how fantastic the men are, no matter how smart, how loving, how romantic, how much they get us, how spiritual, how religious, how anything they are, how caught up in, yes, empowerment, strong, we want a strong woman, we believe in empowerment, we believe in rights, we believe in authentic yeses and nos across the board, unfortunately. it does seem to be that men don't understand this piece about the feminine and how vitally important it is that you listen and see your woman's yes and no. And don't just take her letting you do as you please to her body as a yes, because it's not. It is not a yes. And one of the best things that you can do in those moments, if you really truly want to prove your love, if you really truly want her to trust you and you don't want to make $1 million withdrawal out of your $100,000 bank account, and you don't want to shut her down and potentially cause physical, emotional, and mental damage, or you want to start to repair that damage. I have a bug that keeps crawling on me. Then the best thing that you can do is say no when she is just letting you. To wake up and be conscious in your sex. Be conscious with your woman. Be present enough to actually witness and see her no. And then be a no as well. And don't act like a spoiled, rotten little 3-year-old about it. Seriously. Like that's why women say just let it happen. It's because you men act like a spoiled, rotten little 3-year-old when you don't get what you think you need to have in that moment. And that's just fucking disrespectful and unloving. So I ask all the men out there in the world, because this is definitely going out to quite a few men that I know. And ladies, I got your back. I love you, and I'm going to speak truth for all of us here. So share this. Share this with your guy. As if I'm working with you, your guy's working with me. So there you go. You know who you are, and there's a nice little handful of you that's reached out to me in the last week or two. So this is for your guys, but this is for you too. You need to speak your truth. You need to share. Maybe I've used words that he can hear. Maybe I've stated it in a way that you haven't stated it. Maybe you need to state it as well. And gentlemen, learn how to be a gentleman in bed too. Learn how to be a gentleman in your relationship. Learn what unconditional love is. Check your expectations. And if you think you don't have expectations, because I've heard that. I don't have any expectations around that. That's just crazy. Of course not. Yeah. Become conscious about yourself, about your actions, about your verbiage, about your tone. Start to pay attention to how you make micro changes when she is not a fuck yes when you want her to be, but she just lets you, or when she actually stands firm in her no. How do you treat her? What are the thoughts that are bouncing around in your head? If you can't get real with the thoughts that are bouncing around in your head and paying attention to those expectations and what those are, and your judgments again about her and her yes and her no, and where you're going, no, she should, really truly check yourself on that and ask yourself, is this coming from a place of love or a place of need? Is this coming from a place of expectation? Ask yourself those things. On that note, Addison, Bell, and I are teaching. I've had a few people message me. I don't know why you're not getting this, but yes, the oral intimacies class is on for this Saturday. Yes, we have it available online version as well. You're more than welcome to message me. I can get you the link for that. It's also on my website. But the online class is online, okay? It is already recorded. It is done. It has been available for the last, I don't know how many years it's been up there, like 2 years. It's been available, so you can have that. But if you want to attend the local class, it is happening this Saturday. This is the class for this year. It was pushed back to this month from, because I think we were going to do it back in March for Steak and Blowjob Day or something like that, like we typically do. It's been pushed out. It is happening this Saturday. Make sure that we have like 2 spots left for this class. So if we're keeping it smaller, we're following all the COVID restrictions and guidelines and all that kind of stuff. So it's a smaller class. We've changed location. We're now in Plano, not in Dallas. So make sure that you explore that. But if you want to be one of those final 2 spots, well then grab it today, okay? Grab it today. Otherwise, the online one, if you want the link to that, message me in the comments, message me privately, email me, text me, however the fuck you want to contact me, I'll get you the link. The other classes, they are available as well. Everything that we are sharing, both Addison and I, is available. Okay, so please stop emailing me and texting me all these questions of is it on, because I'm not going to have it on there if it's not on. Okay, I'm sorry. I just get a little irritated with like stuff like this where I'm like, did you see that it says postponed or sold out or this or that? Like it's all updated, right? My website's not a dinosaur. It was not updated 10 years ago. What's on there is accurate. Okay, so there, that's my rant. That's my bitch fest about people sending me silly questions. But on that note, check out the events tab on in the comments section. Look at Cock Connection for men. We've got our summer orgasm camp coming up in early August, where we talk all on female sexuality. We're talking on topics like I just talked about today, except we're going more into depth about it. Okay, we also got Sex Magic coming up, Oral Pleasures this Saturday. We've got Quantum Field Tantra coming up. This is a little magic show, and who knows, we probably got more stuff I don't know about yet, but hey, there you go. That's what's available right this very second. Go check it out. And gentlemen, get real with yourselves. Seriously, check yourself. If you love her, then let her know it by embracing her no, by not just taking from her. Don't fuck up her body, her mind, and her emotions and destroy your connection with her because you need a quick release. And I'm sorry, guys, if you're just needing a quick release, then go take care of that fucking stuff yourself, okay? Because you know what? As ladies, we tend to take care of ourselves a lot because there's a lot of men out there that don't know how to take care of us. They don't know how to take the time to get things right. They don't know how to slow down. They don't know how to penetrate their woman properly and actually have the stamina for it. They don't understand that kind of stuff and the vitality that is for the woman's well-being and for the relationship. So as women, we tend to take care of ourselves frequently on that stuff. But guys, stop putting your happiness, your pleasure in her hands as far as if she is tired, if she's not tired. If she's a yes to you, then she's going to be a yes to you. Embrace those yeses. And I can tell you what, the more you embrace her yeses and her authentic no's without causing constriction around it, without causing shame and guilt, the more authentic yeses you will get because she's not going to be bitter towards you anymore. That bitterness, that resentment that she has going towards you, that limits her desire for you. That limits her desire for sex. She's just not going to want it with you if all it causes her is bitterness, resentment, and pain. Okay? That empties her out, that drains her, and she's just not going to be into you anymore. And it'll be over, and it'll be done. And that's that with that. That's the reality on it, okay? So, if you want to keep your woman, you want to make her happy, you want to make yourself happy, you want to have more sex, you want to have better sex, you want to have deeper sex, you want her to be a fuck yes to you more often, then here it is. Learn her yes, learn her no, support her yes, support her no, and do not take from her just because she says, oh, here, I'm going to be a limp noodle for you. Do what you want. Because that's only going to cause severe damage to both of you and your relationship. All right. You guys deserve more than that. That's for sure. I mean that in the bedroom, in your sex, in your relationship, in your love. So make it more valuable. Show your love. Be unconditional with each other. And love yourself enough to get out of that self-centered mode. Love your partner enough to get out of that self-centered mode. And as always, remember, stop existing, start living, level up your bedroom life through consciousness. That's really all it is. Leveling up your bedroom life through consciousness and loving your partner and knowing what love really truly means. On that note, I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Love you guys.